Imagine a highway that never has traffic jams, no matter how many cars pile onto it. That's essentially what Avalanche set out to build for crypto. Most blockchains have a frustrating flaw. The more popular they get, the slower and more expensive they become. One viral app can clog the whole network for everyone. Avalanche was designed from the ground up to solve that, with a clever structure that lets it stay fast, cheap, and almost instant, even at massive scale. Today, I'll explain exactly what Avalanche is, how its unusual design actually works, and what the AVAX token does. Let's get into it. To appreciate Avalanche, you first have to understand the problem nearly every blockchain runs into. Think of a blockchain like a single, shared highway. Every app, every user, every transaction has to drive on that same road. When traffic is light, everything's fast and cheap. But when a popular app suddenly brings a flood of users, the road jams. Transactions slow to a crawl, and fees spike, sometimes to absurd levels, because everyone is competing for the same limited space. Older networks also make you wait to be sure your transaction is truly final and can't be reversed. Avalanche looked at all of this and asked a simple question. What if we didn't force everyone onto one road? And what if transactions could become final almost instantly? That question shaped its entire design. So what is Avalanche? Avalanche is a layer 1 blockchain, meaning a base layer network like Bitcoin or Ethereum, built specifically for speed, low cost, and flexibility. It launched in 2020 and quickly became one of the main competitors to Ethereum for running apps and smart contracts. Its headline feature is something called sub-second finality. Finality is the moment a transaction is permanently locked in and can never be reversed. On Bitcoin, that can take up to an hour. On Avalanche, it happens in under a single second. That speed isn't a gimmick. It's the difference between crypto feeling like a slow bank transfer and feeling like tapping a card. But how does it pull that off? That's where its genius lives. Here's the clever part: how Avalanche reaches agreement. In any blockchain, a huge network of computers has to agree on which transactions are valid. The old way is slow, where every computer essentially shouts at every other computer. Avalanche does something smarter. Instead of asking everyone, each computer asks a small, random handful of others, "Hey, do you think this transaction is valid?" Then it asks another random handful and another. Picture trying to gauge the mood of a giant stadium. You don't interview all 50,000 people. You ask a few random groups and very quickly a clear answer emerges. By repeating this rapid random sampling, the entire network snowballs into agreement in a fraction of a second, and it stays fast even with thousands of participants. It's also energy efficient because there's no massive mining involved. That single trick is what makes Avalanche so quick. Now, Avalanche has another unusual feature that most blockchains don't have. Instead of one chain doing everything, its core is actually 3 specialized chains working together, each with its own job. The first is the C chain, or contract chain. This is where smart contracts and apps live, and it's compatible with Ethereum, which means developers can easily bring their Ethereum apps over. The second is the X chain, or exchange chain, which handles creating and transferring assets. And the third is the P chain, or platform chain, which coordinates the network's validators and keeps everything organized. Think of it like a well-run company with 3 departments, each optimized for what it does best, instead of one overworked person trying to do all 3 jobs badly. Splitting the work is part of why the network stays efficient. But there's one more piece that's arguably the most powerful. That piece is Avalanche's ability to spin up custom blockchains. On most networks, every project is stuck with the same rules and competes for the same space. Avalanche lets developers launch their own dedicated blockchain, originally called a subnet and now known as an Avalanche L1. Think of it as building your own private highway with your own rules, while still connecting to the main Avalanche network for security. A gaming company can build a chain tuned for fast, cheap in-game transactions. A bank can build one with strict identity and compliance rules baked in. Each one runs independently, so a busy game doesn't slow down a financial app. This is a big reason businesses and enterprises have been drawn to Avalanche. They get the benefits of blockchain without being crammed onto the same congested road as everyone else. So where does the AVAX token fit into all this? AVAX is the lifeblood of the network, and it has a few key jobs. First, it pays for transactions, the gas that powers every action. Second, it secures the network through staking. People lock up their AVAX to help validate transactions and earn rewards for keeping the network honest. Third, and this is an interesting twist, a portion of every transaction fee is permanently destroyed or burned. That means the more the network is used, the more AVAX is removed from circulation over time, which is designed to make it gradually more scarce. And AVAX is also what you use to create those custom blockchains we just talked about. So the token isn't just for speculation, it's woven into how the entire system runs and grows. So let's put it all together. Avalanche is a fast, flexible layer 1 blockchain that solves congestion in two big ways. A clever consensus method that reaches agreement in under a second, and an architecture that lets projects run on their own custom chains instead of fighting over one. The AVAX token powers it all, paying fees, securing the network, and getting burned along the way. It has positioned itself as a serious alternative to Ethereum, especially for gaming and enterprises that need speed and customization. And the honest reminder, because this is an educational channel, not a hype channel, understanding the technology behind a project doesn't tell you whether it's a good investment. Avalanche competes with many other strong blockchains, and like all crypto, AVAX is volatile. Nothing here is financial advice. It's here so you can understand it and do your own research with a clearer head. If this made Avalanche finally click for you, hit subscribe. I break down a different cryptocurrency every week, what it is, how it works, and what you actually need to know. I'll see you in the next one.